We got a breaking news alert. What's going on, fam? Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I'm Jay the Black. I want to speak on Jaye Prince speaking out about this Meg Thee Stallion situation. I knew this was gonna happen because I had saw something where Meg Thee Stallion actually brought up Jaye Prince, and especially in the suit that she is filing against 1501 Entertainment, which is ran by Crawford. Now, I made a video about it. If y'all want to see that video, you can go to the link inside the description as well as the comment section, and you can see that video. I think Jaye Prince has heard enough, so of course he took to Instagram to respond to the hoopla. Okay? Now, this is what he's saying. Breaking news alert. Houston, we have a problem. Megan, along with a Roc Nation employee, decided to include my name in a suit wrapped around lies and stupidity. We gonna get this straight, okay? Now let's deal with the root of this issue. The root is a familiar one for me, coming from a successful independent record label's perspective. We as independent record labels make many sacrifices along with our artists. After we do all the hard work together with the artists, it's a known fact that major record labels and established managers attempt to poach the fruits of our labor. One of the first things that they do is criticize the deal that raised their artists, up. These record labels and managers don't want shit to do with these artists until the hard work, risk, and sacrifices and resources have been spent by the little guys. This is the same technique of the culture vultures. I didn't allow this to happen to me when New York and LA record labels attempted to take my artists, so they labeled me as malicious for fighting back. I didn't allow it then, so I'm sure is not going to allow it to happen to 1501 Records or any other independent record label that I'm associated with. For the record, we have no problem with negotiating with Megan, but we do have a problem with dictators. I find it very interesting that Roc Nation would allow their employee to sign an affidavit and statement full of slanderous lies on my methods of doing business when we have partnered together on several occasions. I don't think Jay-Z is aware of this, but only time will tell. So basically, he's saying that maybe she may have not been truthful with Jay. I think Jaye Prince may believe in his mind that Meg Thee Stallion lied to Jay-Z. Is basically where Jaye Prince is coming from. Megan even thought she signed, even though she signed an affidavit, talked down and lied in court documents on me. I understand how lawyers brainwash artists to milk them of funds and lawsuits that they know they can't win. Megan seems to be a perfect candidate for self-destruction. Any artist in the music industry will testify that 40% profit share is a great deal, especially for unestablished artists that to this day have never delivered an album. If you look at her deal, she did get a very good deal. Half your masters, 40% split. I think the touring was 70-30, but that was depending on if you look at how much she's making per show, because she's been doing a lot of shows, To end this, I gave credit where credit is due. Megan, along with her mother, who evidently could read, God rest her soul, negotiated a good deal. And he actually added some more. To end this, I give credit where credit. I read that. Because he actually posted another post where he added more. I extended my hand to meet with Megan, T. Ferris, and the team personally for further negotiations. Unfortunately, it never happened, even though we're all in Houston, because she's being controlled by the very people who started this. The homie Carl was an angel in Megan's eyes when he was spending hundreds of thousands investing in her career. Now that he's helped her become a successful artist, she stopped paying him his percentage and views him as a bad guy. I'm glad money don't make me, I make money. And that is according to Jaye Prince. it's looking more and more like this was a Meg Thee Stallion idea more than it was a Roc Nation idea. I think that once again, when you dangle Beyonce in her front of her face and her being able to be on the same, with the same team as, Rihanna, I think she looked at that because I've told y'all, and I said this in my initial video with Carl, she wants to be famous. She cares more about being famous than she does about making music and putting out albums. She ain't even put out an album yet. How are you dictating terms and talking about renegotiating when you haven't put out one album? Now, I can understand if she had put out 2 albums that were very successful and she said, I'm not making enough money, I want to renegotiate. You have all the negotiating power then, but you have not put out an album. You put out a mixtape. You're on social media, twerking as much as you can, trying to be your best Nicki Minaj knockoff. But you haven't delivered the albums, because I believe the deal was you do 4 albums, and I think that was the extent of the deal, right? You haven't given one. Instead of you doing what Future did when he was trying to get out of a deal, because he was actually being sued by another rapper, so he went and made a couple of albums just to satisfy that suit. My understanding, okay? If an artist wants to get out of it, I think Drake kind of did the same thing with Young Money. If you're trying to get out of a deal, what you're going to do is you're going to satisfy the terms of that contract and get out of it. Instead of you trying to get out of it before you put out one album. It seems to me that she's afraid to put out an album because she knows it may not do well. And she's trying to re-up and get more money before she puts out an album and the album doesn't do well. That's what it seems like to me. You have to put the work in. You have to say, you know what? These people have been good to me. They haven't done me dirty. But when you have people getting in your ear and telling you that you're better than them, that you deserve to be on a Roc Nation, on a bigger label, or, a bigger profile, you start to believe your own hype to the point to where you end up making yourself look bad in the situation. And people want to go at Jay Prince as if Jay Prince is the bad guy. No, Jay Prince is looking out for his business partners. This guy has ran Rap-A-Lot for a long time. He hasn't had a ton of artists, or if any, go and sign with big labels. So obviously he's doing something right. I just think this situation, it just shows you where we are. That you have females who haven't, well, I'm not gonna say females, you have artists, okay, who will go and either start their own labels or they will go and sign with a bigger label when they don't even need to. You don't need to sign to a big label unless they're offering you millions of dollars, but that's just an advance. You're gonna have to make good on that advance. But I just think Megan is coming from a place of thinking that she is on a higher level than she really is. And this whole situation is playing out for the worst because it's making her look worse and worse. I know that she has fans who are going to support her and they're going to believe her no matter what. But this situation is making her look more and more like she's not intelligent, as Jay Prince alluded to. It's making her look like, she is not handling her business. And when I mean handling business, I mean putting out the products, putting out the music, the albums that will get you out of these deals. A deal where you own half your masters, so you're going to own half that music forever. So what she needs to do is get in the studio, make music. You satisfy that deal, then they have no reason, to, hold you hostage as you are claiming that they are doing with this suit. Now I'm seeing people trying to shame Jay Prince, trying to go at, I'm on Twitter, right? And I'm seeing people go at Jay Prince as if he's the bad guy. They're talking about, oh, you're bullying Meg Thee Stallion, you're trying to intimidate her. What? If she was afraid of Jay Prince, do you think she would have ever signed that deal with Roc Nation? Seriously. I think people need to understand that, when you don't do business the right way, when you do people dirty who invested millions into you, that's not right. And not only do you have to deal with the people who refuse to read the post, because I read the post for a reason, because there are people who don't like to read. So I made sure I read the post, because there are people who are going to skim through it, or they're just going to look at the fact that he made this long post and they're going to make an opinion off of that. Well, my opinion is this. I think that Crawford was done dirty. I think that for the most part, I feel like he was suckered for basically being green. The guy was very green, and he saw an opportunity to get into the music business, and he invested in Meg because he believed in her. And the first opportunity that she got to leave, she did it without making one album. Without making one album, she already gone. And then people are trying to shame Jaye Prince and say that he's intimidating her. No, she's mentioning him, in regards to the suit. So why wouldn't he respond? He's mentioned in the suit. So why wouldn't he say, you know what, I'm going to respond to this? But this is a society that we're in. This is a society that we're in where us as men, we're not supposed to respond to people making up things about us and dragging our name through the mud. We're just supposed to take it just cause, Now, Jaye Prince is known to be intimidating because of what he says at times, and how he says it, but I think that in this situation, I think Jaye Prince is just responding, and I think that he has every right to respond. There are two sides to every story. Meg Thee Stallion got on IG Live. All her followers want to believe everything that she says, when they need to look at the fact that, once again, there are two sides to this. And I don't think Jaye Prince is wrong for speaking out, because, again, he's being mentioned in this situation.